The burden of explanation. Not because this is dramatic, but because this message was not meant for everyone. Some people scroll for entertainment, some scroll for motivation, but a chosen one scrolls because the weight has become too heavy to carry alone. And if you're here, it's because you're tired, not physically, emotionally. You're tired of explaining who you are, tired of defending your intentions, tired of correcting lies you never created, tired of being misunderstood by people who never asked for the truth in the first place. And God says, stop explaining yourself. I never asked you to. The exhaustion no one sees. There is a kind of tiredness sleep cannot fix. You can rest your body for 8 hours and still wake up exhausted, because the tiredness you carry is not in your muscles, it's in your spirit. You replay conversations in your head. You rewrite responses you never sent. You practice explanations for situations that already passed, not because you enjoy it, but because you were trained to believe that if people understood you, they would stop hurting you. But here is the truth they never told you. People who are committed to misunderstanding you are not confused. They are decided. And explaining yourself to them only drains you while feeding their control. Why the chosen one explains more than anyone else. Chosen ones explain themselves more than others, not because they are guilty, but because they are conscientious. You care. You care about truth. You care about fairness. You care about being seen correctly. You care about peace. But the very qualities that make you pure are the ones the enemy exploits. You assume everyone wants clarity, but some people don't want truth. They want power, and explanation gives them power. Every time you explain yourself, you lower yourself to the courtroom of opinion. You allow people without authority to cross-examine your soul. You hand your peace to those who never earned access to it, and God watches silently, not because He agrees with them, but because He is training you. Silence is not weakness, it is alignment. At some point, God will allow your explanations to stop working, not because you are wrong, but because He is transitioning you. There is a season where explanation is necessary, and there is a season where explanation becomes disobedience. Yes, disobedience. Because when God decides to defend you, your explanations interfere. Think about it. If a judge has already decided in your favor, why are you still arguing with the crowd outside the courtroom? God does not need your clarification. He needs your surrender. The hidden trap of over-explaining. Over-explaining is not humility. It is fear, wearing humility's clothes. Fear of being disliked. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being misunderstood. But listen carefully. Even Jesus was misunderstood. Even Jesus was accused. Even Jesus was silent when He could have spoken, not because He had no defense, but because truth does not panic. Truth does not rush to be believed. Truth does not beg for validation. Truth waits because it knows time is its ally. Why God allows lies to spread? This is hard to hear. You've asked God, why didn't you stop them? Why did you let that rumor spread? Why did you let them twist my intentions? And God says, because if I stopped every lie, you would never learn who not to trust. Lies are painful, but they are also revealing. They reveal who listens without asking you, who believes without evidence, who stays silent when you are attacked, who enjoys watching you struggle to explain. God allows lies not to destroy you, but to expose the hearts around you. Protection is not always removal. Sometimes protection is revelation. The loneliness of being chosen. There is a loneliness that comes with being chosen that no one prepares you for. You are surrounded by people, yet feel completely alone. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, some people leave, and that hurts. But understand this: people who require constant explanation are attached to a version of you that benefits them. When you stop explaining, you stop feeding that version. And they don't miss you. They miss control. God's silence. While you're attacked. This is the hardest part. God is quiet while your name is being questioned. Quiet while your character is doubted. Quiet while your intentions are misunderstood. And everything in you wants to scream, "Say something, God." But heaven remains silent, not because God is unsure, but because he is certain. Silence in heaven means the case is already decided. And when God defends someone, he doesn't argue. He demonstrates. Why vindication always comes later. If God defended you immediately, you would depend on him emotionally, but not spiritually. Delay matures discernment. Delay teaches you who to speak to, who to ignore, who deserves access, who was never meant to understand you. Immediate vindication feels good, but delayed vindication changes you forever. When God finally speaks on your behalf, he doesn't just clear your name, he repositions you. A warning for the chosen one. Hear this carefully. The more you rise, the fewer explanations you are allowed to give, because explanation keeps you on the same level as those who question you. Elevation requires silence, and God is preparing you for a level where not everyone gets an explanation. God says this directly to you: stop defending what I already approved. Stop explaining what I already understood. Stop trying to be believed by people I am removing. You were never meant to convince everyone. You were meant to obey me, and obedience will cost you misunderstanding before it rewards you with peace. When God takes your voice away, there is a season in every chosen one's life where God slowly removes their voice, not physically, but strategically. You notice it when your explanations feel useless. Your words are twisted instead of understood. The more you speak, the worse things seem. Silence feels safer than talking. At first, you think something is wrong with you. You wonder, why can't I say what I really mean anymore? Why do my words feel heavy? Why does speaking drain me now? But God is not muting you to punish you. He is protecting you, because the next level you are entering cannot be accessed with the same voice that survived the last level. Silence is a filter. Silence filters people. When you stop explaining, some people grow uncomfortable, some grow angry, some walk away, some reveal their true intentions, and a very small group leans in closer. That's how God separates those who need explanations from those who trust your character. Those who only stay when they understand from those who stay even when they don't. God does not elevate crowds. He elevates those who can walk with him in silence. Why God lets people misunderstand you. This is painful, but necessary. God allows misunderstanding because understanding creates agreement. Agreement creates comfort. Comfort delays transformation. Misunderstanding forces separation, and separation is required before elevation. Some people cannot go with you to where God is taking you, not because they are evil, but because they are unequipped. If they understood you fully, they would try to follow you without the capacity to sustain the journey. So God lets them misunderstand, and misunderstanding pushes them away without confrontation. The loneliness of obedient silence. Obedient silence is lonely because it feels unnatural to stay quiet when accused. It feels wrong to not correct lies. It feels humiliating to let people believe things about you that aren't true. But silence is not submission. Silence is trust. You are trusting God too. Speak louder than you ever could. Defend you better than explanations ever would. Reveal truth without you forcing it. And trust always feels lonely before it feels powerful. The difference between being quiet and being silent. Being quiet is fear-based. Being silent is faith-based. Being quiet says, I don't want conflict. Being silent says, I don't need approval. Chosen ones are not quiet people. They are disciplined people. They know when words are necessary and when words interfere with God's work. Silence is not weakness. Silence is timing. Why explaining yourself delays your vindication? This is critical. Every time you explain yourself, you reopen a case God already closed. You delay divine justice. You re-enter arguments you were meant to exit. God cannot fully defend you while you keep trying to do His job. It's like grabbing the steering wheel while God is driving. Your explanations are not helping. They are interrupting. The spiritual law of exposure. Here is a divine law few people understand. Truth exposed too early is attacked. Truth exposed at the right time is honored. God hides truth until people reveal their intentions. Your silence gives others room to expose themselves. They talk, they accuse, they exaggerate, they reveal jealousy, insecurity, bitterness. And all the while, God is watching, taking notes. Because when truth finally comes out, it doesn't just clear your name, it exposes theirs. Why God lets them talk first. Have you noticed this? God often lets your enemies speak first. Your critics speak loudest. Your accusers grow confident. Why? Because confidence without truth always overplays itself. People who lie get reckless. They add details. They exaggerate. They contradict themselves. And your silence becomes the contrast that makes their noise obvious. You don't need to trap them. Silence does it naturally. The pain of watching God do nothing, or so it seems. This is the hardest test. Watching God remain silent while injustice happens. You pray, God, say something. God, stop this. God, defend me. And heaven is quiet. But hear this carefully. God is not slow. He is precise. If He spoke when you wanted, you would be relieved. If He speaks when He chooses, you will be transformed. Why God defends you. Publicly, not privately. You tried to explain privately. You tried to clear things quietly. You tried to keep dignity. But God does not defend His chosen ones in whispers. He defends them in demonstrations. Public misunderstanding requires public vindication, but only after your heart is purified. Your dependence on validation is broken. Your need to be believed is healed. Because if God elevated you while you still needed explanation, you would crumble under visibility. Silence builds authority. People who explain everything have influence. People who explain nothing have authority. Authority does not rush to speak. Authority waits. Authority knows. Truth does not need repetition. Character does not need advertisement. Destiny does not need defense. The higher God takes you, the fewer explanations you are allowed to give, not because you are cold, but because you are carrying weight. When God replaces your voice with results, there comes a moment when your life starts speaking louder than your mouth ever could. Your peace becomes evidence. Your consistency becomes proof. Your growth becomes undeniable. And people who once questioned you start watching you silently. Because explanation season is over. Demonstration season has begun. A word directly for you. God says, you were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be trusted by me. Let them talk. I am watching. Your silence is not costing you anything. It is saving you.